Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah, here comes the.
At long last, Gonzaga versus Baylor. The matchup, the dream matchup that fans have been clamoring for, that fans have been waiting for. And literally, to be quite frank, these two teams were set to meet on December 5th of last year, but because of COVID protocol issues on Gonzaga's end of things, well, the game was canceled. And just like that, that dream matchup between the two consensus best teams in all of college basketball was taken away from us. Well, it wasn't the only thing that was taken away from us. March Madness itself was taken away from us last season, and so we haven't had an NCAA title game since 2019. Well, the good thing is, in tonight's Gonzaga versus Baylor matchup, whoever wins, Gonzaga or Baylor, it will be a first-time champion, or it will be as first-time champions. As what happened in 2019, Virginia won the national championship for the first time in the program's history. No matter what happens tonight, we can expect a great matchup, and it's always fun rooting for a team that has never won in its history. And as we all know, Gonzaga has been a very successful run team since Mark Few came into the picture, and Baylor has been a very productive team since Scott Drew came into the picture himself. That's right, folks. In today's installment of SteezyBandz, we're going to be diving into Gonzaga versus Baylor in today's NCAA title game, and we'll be keying in on two players, Jalen Suggs versus Davion Mitchell. But first, if you're new to this channel, and if you haven't already, please be sure to show a brother some love, man. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to also tell a friend to also hit that subscribe button. Drop a like in the comment for us if you enjoyed. And don't forget to find us on all social media platforms at SteezyBandz for boatloads of other content. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, to name a few. Without further ado, you tune into SteezyBandz, and let's get to cooking. At long last, we have the Gonzaga Bulldogs versus the Baylor Bears. 31-0 versus 27-2. But if not for that COVID scare that Baylor had back in February, then we could be looking at a title matchup between two undefeated teams. Nevertheless, we have a matchup between the two consensus best teams in all of college basketball. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are looking to become the first team since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers to finish the season undefeated. But if any team is going to do it, the Gonzaga Bulldogs are built to do it. This team literally doesn't have a weakness, and they're the best two-point shooting team in all of college basketball history. This championship matchup will also provide a boatload of star power, as tonight's matchup will become the first matchup since 2005 to feature 5 AP All-Americans on the same floor. For Gonzaga, you have Drew Timme, Corey Kispert, and obviously Jalen Suggs. And then on Baylor's side of things, you probably have the best backcourt in all of college basketball with Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell. As we all know, Jalen Suggs and the Gonzaga Bulldogs are coming off a thrilling 93-90 overtime victory against the UCLA Bruins. And thanks to Jalen Suggs' heroics, well, they were able to move past the UCLA Bruins and make it this far. Well, if Gonzaga was going to lose the game, that was going to be the game that they were going to lose. And with that being said, I don't see them losing tonight's game. And yes, Baylor's going to provide the stiffest matchup that Gonzaga has had to battle against all season long, but because of Jalen Suggs and his ability to not only be clutch, but how he's so versatile and able to contribute on all facets of the game. He's a solid distributor, he's a great rebounder, a great defender, he's athletic, he's able to get after it. His shot might not be the best, but he's able to get it done, and he has shown flashes of being able to shoot the basketball consistently and as a lights out shooter at least. And he also has all the intangibles. He's a great leader, he's very poised, and he's clutch. His leadership ability is second to none. But let's also not forget Drew Timme and his proficiency in the post. My goodness, he's so skilled in that area, and I just don't see anyone on Baylor's side of things being able to counter that. You also can't forget about Corey Kispert, one of the best shooters in all the country, who significantly raised his NBA stock, who now might be a potential first-round pick in the NBA draft. But not to dismiss any of Baylor's starters, like I said, they have arguably the best backcourt in all of college basketball, and there's an argument to be made that Davion Mitchell might not even be this team's best player. That honor probably belongs to the team's leading scorer, Jared Butler, who's having a great season himself. But one of the reasons why I'm highlighting Davion Mitchell is because if he's able to contain, or if he's able to stop Jalen Suggs tonight, then that could be key in Baylor winning this ball game. Yes, Davion Mitchell has turned it on as of late, and throughout Baylor's run through the tournament, he's been their best player, but throughout the entirety of the season, their best player has been Jared Butler. But not to take anything away from Davion Mitchell, who's a great player in his own right. He's a great defender. He's one of the reasons why Baylor is one of the best teams in all of college basketball on defense, and as as well as getting after the ball in terms of forcing steals and forcing turnovers. He's a dog when it comes to defending guys. Like, he's a dog when it comes to playing defense, and he's super athletic. He's able to take it to the hole. He's a willing passer, a great passer. He's a very solid shooter, and Baylor is one of the best, if not the best, three-point shooting teams in all the country. They were number one this season in terms of three-point percentage, and they have a whole lot of guys that could shoot the lights out, that are snipers. Their guard play has been exceptional, but I'm a little worried about what they're going to be able to get out of their front court. I'm not talking about their hustle or defense, but who's going to be able to make Drew Timme work on defense? Yes, he's going to get his. Yes, he's going to score about, 20 points, but he's not at his best when it comes to playing one-on-one defense. And so if Baylor's going to be able to have a threat offensively from the post, then they have a better chance of winning this ball game. But like I said earlier, it's going to come down to Jalen Suggs versus Davion Mitchell, the two best players in the tourney for each of these respective teams. I don't expect a high-scoring matchup. I don't expect anywhere in the 90s or 80s like we saw in Gonzaga and UCLA, but you can expect maybe a low 70s, high 60s, low 60s to mid 60s type of ball game. Expect a whole lot of defense. Expect a whole lot of great play from both sides, from both teams. Davion Mitchell, I'm not going to predict that he's going to stop a guy like Jalen Suggs. I think that Jalen Suggs, being the player that he is, he's going to step up in moments like this. Riding high off of what he just did against UCLA, while he only had a stat line of 16, 6, and 5, not all of his contributions are necessarily shown in the box score. Now, a lot of people are going to talk about his game-winning shot against UCLA with about a couple of seconds to go. But what about the block that he had? What about the pass that he had on previous plays before that? Not everybody's looking at some of the other contributions that he's able to make on the basketball floor. And so even if Davion Mitchell is able to take away Jalen Suggs from getting after it, from scoring the ball, from being aggressive on offense, Jalen Suggs is going to be able to set up his teammates. He's going to be able to run the offense. He's going to be able to set up looks for Drew Timme. Gonzaga runs a whole lot of pick and roll, and now if they're going to have to run more pick and roll this time around to kind of get Davion Mitchell away from Jalen Suggs and encourage Baylor to switch more, then Jalen Suggs is going to tear it up. But it's going to be a pick your poison type of matchup, as he isn't going to be deemed an X-Factor type of player because he deserves a lot more respect than that. Corey Kispert is also going to be an option that Baylor is going to have to take into account. He's going to have a lot of open looks, especially from three, especially from three, if Jalen Suggs is going to be running more pick and roll action from up top. But at the end of the day, I just think that Jalen Suggs is going to be able to slice and dice. He's going to be able to will his way. And I think that he's going to be able to break away from that defense that Baylor, that suffocating defense that Baylor provides, just because he's so proficient in a lot of areas in terms of offense. And at the end of the day, I'm going to ride with the player who has the NBA potential. And I understand that not all great college basketball players translate well to the NBA, but he was a five-star player. He was a five-star recruit for a reason. He was a star quarterback prospect. He was even recruited by Ohio State, the Ohio State program, to play quarterback for that football team. And so he's so talented on defense because of his football background. And when you combine that with the fact that Gonzaga typically doesn't recruit five-star players, Mark Few has a different way of doing things, and he usually likes to recruit guys that stay with the program for years and years to come, guys that grow and start gradually growing into their roles. But with him bringing in a guy like Jalen Suggs into the program, he's been a revelation this season. He's the top 5 NBA draft pick for a reason. He's so well at what he does. He's so good at what he does. And at the end of the day, for as good as he has been on defense, for the dog, despite being the dog that he is, I just think that Jalen Suggs is going to be able to overcome, whether that's shooting, whether that's creating for others, whether that's making clutch plays on defense or offense, and whether that's willing his team to victory. With all that being said, I got Gonzaga coming out on top in a very contested, down-to-the-wire matchup, 71-68. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, man. Who do you have winning this game? Who do you have coming out on top? Are you going to have a first-time winner in Gonzaga? Is Gonzaga going to go undefeated for the first time since the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers? Or is Baylor going to put a thorn on Gonzaga's dreams of finishing an undefeated season and to finish 28-2 and to win the national championship? Which backcourt, which player is going to overcome? Davion Mitchell or Jalen Suggs? Comment down below. Once again, while that marks the end of this video, you don't have to stop watching SteezyBandz content there. There'll be loads of other content on our channel homepage, as you'll see a whole bunch of guest appearances and podcast appearances from yours truly. All of our Instagram and TikTok will feature other content, so don't forget to find us on there at Steezy A. Smith. Nothing but love, and Steezy out.